They should push it out.
They hardly got anything tapped.
Yeah. Last year they didn't either.
A couple years ago, though, it was already over.
Because, well, it fluctuates.
I know.
So,
If you don't have any maple syrup, I'd push it out a couple weeks. You got 50 people coming through your
Yeah.
sale spot.
Well, just fill it full of tap water. You might get something out of it.
Another cold
You got the right well, you may get a brown fluid when you
Yeah.
anyway.
I guess that's what they did over to, what you call it, sale last year. They just boiled water just to show them how to boil it down because they didn't have nothing to boil.
we all set,
I believe so. Josh is not coming this way.
right? Yeah. I'll give her a couple seconds. All right, anytime, John. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have 4 out of the 5 selectmen here this evening. Could we please rise to do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Amendments to the agenda. I have 2. I'll call them 6C, add for the road commissioner, and 6D, posting of the roads. Are there any other amendments that we need? Okay. On to public comments. No
Seeing
public.
none, I will move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. 6A, action and discussion items. Discussion on tax acquired property, the Gunther property on Route 9. So last year we put that out to bid. We received a bid and we've been granting some extensions so that they are able to actually get a loan. They need a clear title to be able to get loan. The last extension expired February 28th. There are still 2 outstanding heirs that they have not been able to contact, and are meeting with their lawyer this Friday. The lawyer believes he has another option for closing this out, and so putting it out there whether we grant another extension or not.
Yeah,
And that's the only hang-up on the financing, is just clearing the title?
I believe so. That's what I'm under the impression of.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the impression we've been waiting on before.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if that's what it is and the finance is not an issue, I say we grant the extension to the end of the month anyways.
Yeah,
If you want to go a little further, that's fine.
I was thinking something like May 31st. Give him.
Push it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that we grant an extension till May 31st.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. B, discussion regarding quilt raffle table at town meeting.
We had a lady in the office the other day who wanted to know if she could sell quilt raffle tickets at the town meeting for a student scholarship, for the Denise LaFlamme Scholarship. And I wasn't sure, so I thought I'd ask you guys.
I know that the fireman's booster, or whatever they're called, the fireman's auxiliary, whatever the not fire department arm of the fire department is, does a fundraising table outside the meeting in the hallway. Is there some restriction on?
I don't know. She may have to contact the school for permission to set up in there. Typically, we've allowed the fire department to sell snacks. Is usually what they're selling there.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
a fundraising event,
Right.
whether they're selling
Yeah, and I mean,
donuts or,
right. I don't see
Yeah.
that this would be necessarily competing with it per
Right.
se.
Yeah. They
And
had Girl Scouts or something else was in there one time, or
or they may have been,
on
or
the opposite side or something, yeah.
I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't
was that a motion?
Yep.
know.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. C, ad for the road commissioner. We don't actually have a draft of an ad yet, but we do need to get that out. I believe we're at our meeting last week, did we decide to leave it open-ended?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we were not gonna have a closing date for when applications needed to be in. We would start reviewing applications as soon as they started coming in.
Okay.
And we discussed there that, about putting it in MMA and in the Tri-Town,
Right.
and holding off on the other papers for a couple weeks to see what the response was.
Your memory is correct.
Okay.
Pretty sharp tonight, yeah.
So you want me to draft it and then send you and whoever else wants to read it? And
So,
Yeah, and we do
Yeah.
need to
Get
just
the
shoot
panel.
it over to panel.
yeah.
Okay.
Shoot it over to Scott so that panel can take a look at it as
Yep.
well.
Okay.
Please.
So, do you wanna approve doing a ad pending approval of like the chair of both
Yeah.
boards or something like that?
Yeah.
Just, unless you want it to, otherwise it's gotta come back to the whole board.
Oh, I think we've thrashed it over, we kinda know what's going in it, so I don't have
And
any
we've got the
problems
job
having the chair just
description right here and
view it,
Nope, I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
I'll move that we place an ad for road commissioner at MMA, at the MMA job site and in the Tri-Town Weekly, the wording of the ad to be approved by the board, the chairman of the selectmen of Durham and Pownell.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. D, posting roads. It's that time of year.
Let's post them.
I move that we begin posting roads as of tomorrow, March 11th.
And do we have to have an end date or?
And date's May 1st.
Okay, all right, so that's already kind of,
Yeah.
okay.
It's already been established.
Is there a second
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. That's it for action and discussion items. Departments and committees. Administrator?
I don't have much. I sent the annual report to the printers, so we're just waiting now.
Road commissioner?
I got something, yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to just something I'd like to, maybe we could work out, has to do with the fire department and us closing the roads.
Okay.
We ran into a situation a couple of weeks ago where they knocked the power lines over.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is that I had to call a guy in to come bring 2 signs in, which is expense to taxpayers, that I'm thinking maybe we could give the firemen a couple of our stands, a couple of our road closed signs. If the, the situation comes up where they need us, that's one thing, but they could just set the road closed signs up and then they wouldn't have to call us in, it's not an
Right.
expense. They call me and then I call a guy that's,
Do they have to get permission from you to actually close it? So they have to call you
They have to call me for the
close
signs,
it, but,
right.
but,
right, and then when they always bring the signs back to
No,
us, so I just.
but, no, as far as to actually close the road, I think they need your permission, the road
Oh,
commissioner's
yeah,
permission.
right,
But
okay,
as far as giving them the signs to do it, I don't have
Right.
an issue with that. It's just a matter of,
yeah, that's,
they'll
yeah,
have to
Perfect,
clear
perfect
it.
sense to me.
yeah.
That's not
yeah.
gonna work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we can't carry road signs and closed signs on our fire trucks.
Okay,
And now you're talking a personal vehicle
Excuse
being
me, can
used.
you go up to the microphone and identify yourself?
Keith Russell, Deputy Fire Chief. What he's proposing, we've actually talked about and
Have you?
experienced in the past. And we can't carry that equipment on our fire trucks as it is.
Okay.
You're talking personal vehicles. If we're gonna use a personal vehicle, it should be the town's vehicle, not our personal vehicle.
Right.
So when do you close the road down? When your personal vehicle gets there or when a fire truck gets there?
It can be either or, can be either or. But as far as putting up barricades and signs.
No, I'm not
That's-
talking about barricades, I'm just like the situation we came in last week where we had to close that section of roads.
Now,
Yep, that's
when
what
you-
Public Works is for.
When you say that you can't, are you not permitted to carry non-fire equipment, or
No,
is
there's
it a
no
question
room.
of space?
Won't fit.
And so my question was gonna be, if it's something like this where you know that CMP, that they've knocked a pole down and it's that,
We,
couldn't somebody just go, keep them at the station, don't carry them on the truck all the time, and just grab an extra sign from the closet at the
We used
station
to,
and?
we used to do it before then. before
we-
Public Works.
road commissioner.
Oh, Commissioner.
If, we close roads down all the time with personnel, but if it's extended period like the other day,
Right.
where it's gonna be 8 hours,
Yeah.
we're not gonna post people on 2 ends of a scene for 8 hours. Public
Oh,
Works
no,
needs
I
to come
thought
out
it was
and
just a
put,
question
and
of
it's not,
somebody being
and
there
you
to
can't
put the
just
sign
put a
up.
sign up. I
And,
mean, it's gotta be barricades and cones and all that.
and if you do personal vehicle, you run into liability
Okay.
issues,
Yeah.
I think, so.
Yeah.
And,
The number of times that happens
Small.
is minimal.
Yeah,
You know, it
And-
happens to be the first day that
sure. Yeah, yeah, well, that's, I thought
you were
maybe
in
it
charge,
happened all
that
the time.
happens,
and
but
I was
that does
just-
not happen all the time.
Okay.
We close roads down for short periods of time, all the time. We use personnel, we use
Sure.
apparatus, personal vehicles. But when it comes to something that's 8 hours long,
Hmm.
that's not our responsibility.
In that case, if the road was closed down, would there be police officers that are keeping the road closed, or would it just be the people that's doing the work over there? I mean, you got no choice to close the road in that situation.
Right.
That's
But it
when
was-
it comes to
so-
barricades and cones and detour signs.
Yeah, I think
And that's
they
road
had even
commission.
had, when I came over the bridge in Lisbon that day, I think they had CMP personnel.
CMP
At the
will bring their own
barricades.
flaggers in
Yeah, I
cases.
think they had somebody at the barricades.
So
was a
Keith, you're only talking about long periods of time, not short periods of time.
Exactly.
You have to call on Public Works.
Exactly.
All right.
I just-
so, and actually, at that point, it's actually probably cheaper to call in somebody from Public Works than to post a firefighter.
Exactly.
Two firefighters at both ends.
The thing is, it's not 2 firefighters. If
Right.
you put an apparatus out there, it could be 2, it could be
Exactly.
6.
Yeah.
Depending on what apparatus it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I misunderstood, then I thought it was like a,
Nope.
common thing where you put the sign up and.
Yeah, okay, half an hour, call the Public Works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
did
just
I.
know it's
I
an
figured you just put the
expensive-
sign up and went about the rest of your day.
No, okay.
I would try to save.
Anything else from your,
No, I
Few days.
noticed the roads need to be posted though, I didn't know that.
okay.
Absolutely.
And we have the Bowie Hill, the culvert on Bowie Hill has been thawed out, so.
Good.
Situation.
I was wondering if that's what it was.
Yeah, we did it today, and now we're just working on the ice, get rid of that
I
before it
mean,
goes
it's
more.
low there anyway, so I was.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
an
a lot of it
issue
was
that
the
we're gonna have
snow
to
and-
address this
Yeah.
summer, because it's, I look at that drainage going down through the field and it goes uphill.
Yeah, it does.
Water won't run uphill except in Canada.
Actually, that spot's been an issue in the past,
Yeah, that's
ain't
what
like
I've
it's
heard.
new, but yeah.
Thought
That
that's
pipe
what,
is gonna be
thought
replaced.
that's
I
what
don't
happened
know.
down in South America. It went the opposite way.
Maybe.
Yeah, south of the equator.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Code enforcement?
Feel like I haven't been here in a while. Probably because I haven't been here in a while.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing.
Thank you, Paul.
So the office has been very busy but quiet. The snow really slowed things down a bit. So we got a couple of things coming up that we need to address. This is an email that came through my office this morning in regards to the recent conditional use permit by the planning board. They haven't actually, no one's actually made an application for appeal yet. But I thought we ought to probably do some housekeeping with the appeals board. Ruth and I spoke. Ruth got a hold of Barbara Snyder and then gave me Barbara's number. She's a member of the board. Of the 5 members, there are still, it appears there are still 4 active. But they don't have a chairperson. They haven't met in several years. If you move into the next page after this one, I just copied out some of the stuff in regards to appointments, composition, and responsibilities for the appeals board. In item B, under the Board of Appeals, this group needs to initiate getting additional members and alternate members so that we have a full board. And I thought we ought to probably do this as quickly as possible. Of the 4 that are existing, they will also all need to be reappointed, or I assume at this point that, or at least some of them will need to be reappointed.
I believe we do that on a yearly, or is it 3-year terms?
It's a 5-year
I
term.
think it's a 5-year
5-year.
term, and they're appointed, 3 of them are appointed, I think, through 2020, and 1 is through 2018.
Okay, well, at least, okay, so we're good there. All right, that's good. So then the board will have to get together and just do housekeeping. Just, the chairman evidently is the person who had left and moved to Portland. So they'll need to redo the part about officers. And then I can't really find any historical stuff yet. There's no sort of paperwork in the office in regards to administering an appeal. So, I did go on page 75, and it says the appeal shall be filed at the office of the selectman, who shall notify all of the other folks that need to be notified. I'm assuming that just comes through the main office here.
Right.
And you guys have probably been through this before, so I haven't been with you in regards to that, so I haven't found any particular paperwork. I'm assuming that they just file a notice of intent, that we get a letter that they're intending to appeal, and if it's within the time frame, the legal time frame, then we're all set to go, and we just sort of proceed from there.
Right, and there are, actually, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I was thinking about the appeal process, if it goes beyond the Board of Appeals, and because then they can appeal it to the Court of Law as well.
Yeah,
That's
Superior
what-
Court comes after they, if they disagree with the finding by the
Right,
Board
I
of
was thinking
Appeals.
about that process and
Um,
misspoke.
The other thing that has come up in this is that our own ordinance doesn't really clearly define, there are two types of appellate structure under Maine law. One is called a de novo board, and another one is called actually an appellate board. So the Board of Appeals can serve one of two functions. If our Board of Appeals is defined in our ordinance as an appellate board, essentially what they do is review that the planning board or the code enforcement officer procedurally handled the process correctly. If they feel that they didn't, then only the evidence that was presented to the individual in the process of the administering the application is what the appeals board reviews. And they review that, how the decision was made, and then they make a decision based on what they see from the evidence of the record. If our ordinance doesn't specifically claim that to be the state of our appeals board, then we're automatically considered a de novo board. A de novo board actually rehears the entire application, can bring in evidence, new evidence, and so on. So it's the de novo board is a much more complicated process, and I think it's probably worth a discussion going forward if we would like to be a little more clearly defined about what it is we want our appeals board to do and the legal definition in that. So when you get a chance, some more riveting reading.
Now, the ordinance states that in addition to the 5, there are 2 associate members who
Correct.
serve in the absence. Do we have the 4, do we have 2
No, there's
associate members or alternate
there's
members?
one alternate, at least. it's
Yeah,
one.
the board of 5 consists of 1 alternate and additional 2 associates.
Okay,
So
that's
it's
what I
a
was
total of
questioning about
7.
the appoint. the
We
2
don't
members.
have any, as far as I know, in the paperwork, Ruth and I haven't been able, are there alternates?
That's what I've seen.
Yeah,
no.
we haven't,
Okay.
I haven't seen anything there that indicates that to be the case, and Barbara didn't seem to think so either.
Okay, so we need to appoint at least,
That's written very strangely.
It's a little bit, yeah.
well, it's,
Well, the deal is, I guess if you read a little farther, that a minimum of 4 members is needed to actually adjudicate the hearing, so the,
it's unclear the way that it says shall consist of 5 members plus 1 alternate appointed by the Board of
Yeah.
So
Selectmen.
that sounds like
And
6.
the Board of
Yeah.
Selectmen shall appoint 2 associate members to serve in the absence of regular
So-
members, which
This
is
is our
traditionally
ordinance,
an
remember.
alternate.
yeah.
So I
right,
think
Yeah,
that
What,
somebody just didn't cut and paste
well,
all
that's what it
paper.
looks, to me, it looks like they cut and pasted from the board of, the planning board.
yeah, it's,
And-
yeah, this,
But, yeah, that's kind of, because if you read this, there's actually supposed to be, I'd say, 8 members.
Yeah,
And,
that's how I read it as well.
sounds, it's starting to get like a party.
mhm.
So,
I
yeah,
think that-
more housekeeping that we need to do on the,
Can we get thing placed on the town channel and the website and stuff, noting that we're looking for members for that?
and
Also-
Barbara said if anybody came forward, she'd be happy to talk to them, because it seems like it's a great way to do public service that only requires a short period of time every few years.
Yeah.
So she said, as far as doing public service, it's a pretty lightweight program, and she could probably talk almost anybody into it if they had an interest, because it's not as burdensome as a lot of the other
Right,
volunteer positions in town, so.
okay.
That would be good. And then on the last page of what I gave you is a a letter that I sent to a project that we have going on in town that's been having a little bit of back and forth in regards to getting inspections done correctly and sort of meeting certain standards. I included it because I wanted the board to kind of get a better feel for how I'm approaching some of my work that I feel is difficult for me to sign off on. In these particular cases, this one was some concrete work that essentially I can't determine that the work was protected properly. And I can't determine that it's good, and I can't determine that it's bad. I'm not a concrete engineer. The contractor, both the general contractor as well as the concrete contractor, are claiming that it was handled properly. The temperature several nights during that circumstance went down well below zero. If you freeze concrete soon enough in the process, it stops it from gaining any further strength. So I gave them a couple of options in regards to keeping the project on track, and that is to get an engineer to do a site analysis and sign off that it meets the standard, and I will accept that. Or get a concrete engineering firm to actually do a core test on it and do a break test to see if it meets the standard. So this is sort of the way I try to go about some of the stuff that if I can't make a decent determination, they have a way out. I just thought it'd be helpful for you guys to know.
I see they backfilled on you too, huh?
Yep.
Did they re-excavate it, did they?
Did they do yet?
Did they I see you got re-excavate and inspect these items.
Yeah,
Did
well,
that for you?
they did dig some out in order to do some additional drainage, and I was able to get in there today to review that and see that they had the filter fabric down. They're pushing my buttons a little bit, and I'm pushing back pretty hard with them right
Who's the
now.
contractor?
It's the home construction.
Stone construction, I didn't know if he has his own earthwork guys.
I don't remember the guy's name offhand. I've got it written down in the file, but off the top of my head, I don't remind it.
Now, would this have normally been something that you would have been there for the pour, or they would have needed a permit for the pour, or why? How could this issue have been avoided, I guess?
I was there for the pour, because I have to inspect the rebar before they pour, but I asked for, they were not supposed to backfill it without me re-inspecting that the drainage had been in right, that it had been covered, that the foundation had been waterproofed, and they went ahead and backfilled it. And knowing that they backfilled it so quickly after they poured it that they didn't have it blanketed and protected from frost.
Got it.
So, with conversations with Mr. Harvey in trying to deal with it, they felt they did enough, that's pretty minimal to the standards that they're working for. The other issue that comes into this particular circumstance for me is it's a spec house, essentially. They are building the house for an owner who is yet owner. So they're the applicant and the owner. So the information that's going into the structure is not information that the person who will own this when they're done has.
Right.
So I'm wanting to tighten things up a little bit. Typically, I would ask an owner if they've got a good relationship with the contractor and they trust the contractor, that he's protected the concrete well enough. If they said yes, I would take it on their word. If you think he's done a good enough job, and I can't verify that for you and you're comfortable with where it's at, I'm happy to accept that, but I don't have that opportunity in these cases, so I'm wanting to hold the line a little tighter.
Usually when they pour and it's cold like that, they put X amount of calcium in certain things.
Well, they do, but there's some, see, I'm used to some standards that are a little different. One of them is a 250-degree day set, which means that 5 days at 50 degrees. The concrete has to sit 5 days at 50 degrees to get to a high enough percentage of design standard that if it froze, it won't disrupt its finished strength. There's a few other standards, and I've got some of the industry documentation in the office, that if it hydrates to 500 pounds before it freezes, they should be okay. They heat the concrete as well as put in calcium and a few other additives, but they don't heat the aggregate. So They heat the concrete to 180 degrees when they mix it, or with 180 degree water when they mix it. Then they put in cold stones. And when it hits the site, it's about 50 degrees. So the guys at the batch plant are sort of claiming everything should be okay, but when I do the math, it's pretty marginal, especially when it's getting down to, below 20 degrees. It starts to get real marginal. So,
Now, this, what we're following is the MUBEC path, what you just explained.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, so there's some other things that I'm used to in the business that just is not done around here. I've made some phone calls to some of the other municipalities, code enforcement officers. I'm not willing to buck the trend too hard. I've never backfilled a foundation that didn't have a deck on it. You don't backfill an unsupported wall. Everybody does it here. So
Yeah.
if everybody does it here, I'm not gonna go all maverick on everybody and say, oh, no, but some stuff I'm gonna hold a little tighter, so.
Is the concrete poured inside?
No,
No. So you could still you could see the footing on the inside as far as the core and stuff.
yeah,
The drainage, obviously, you can't see. I mean, even if they put drainage on the inside, you still can't see the outside, yeah.
right. So, anyway, if you guys feel like that's fine, that's good, I will continue to do that practice. If you feel like it needs some abatement, or amendment, just let me know.
Yeah, I think as long as we're following the MUBEC standards that we approved, and that's what the builders are supposed to be doing, I see no reason why we can't.
Okay, I think for now, that's all I have.
No? All right, thank you.
You bet.
Anything else that we need to discuss before we go through the comments and then go into executive session?
Do you have a report from the fire department?
I don't have anything written, but I do have a couple things I want to.
Absolutely.
I didn't stir you up, did I?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
I just
that's
figured I'd
fine.
finish
That's
the
all
part.
right. Keith Russell, Deputy Fire Chief. As some of you know, the chief is dealing with personal issues right now, so I'm kind of filling in for him, doing the best I can. Town meeting. I understand we have to get permission to do food concessions
Yes.
at town meeting. We'd like to ask for that again this year.
Okay.
What else do I need to do?
I would guess you may have to ask permission from the school as well, but,
Shannon might know.
yeah.
what you have to do.
But we can give, what permission we can
Yeah.
do, we can give. We just gave permission for,
Quilt.
a quilt raffle at there as well, so.
Yeah. So I should call the school tomorrow.
Yeah, just to make sure what needs to be done with
Yep.
them.
Yep, easy enough. I figured that was gonna be the answer, response, but
Anybody want to make a motion? for
Yeah, I'll
this?
make a motion that we allow the fire department to do their food raffle,
I'll second it.
or sale, whatever it's called.
yeah, just concessions.
Yeah, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Next thing, trash tags for the fire department.
They
Yeah.
generate trash over there?
We do, about 2 bags a week.
2 bags a week.
$2
So,
a piece.
And from our understanding is that we just came over and got trash tags when we needed them. But we were told the other day that that's not the case.
and it's more, we don't know what the case is. I
Well,
don't know
mean,
how.
we've been doing it for years, so
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
gotta
we'll,
be,
we'll look into that and get back to you on
Right.
that, just to make sure that we're following all that,
I would think
Whatever's-
non-profit
right?
would be a big issue, but probably should have some kind of, I mean, the lodge gets tags too, but I think they only get their 26, but, which
Right.
works for them, but
But
still.
we've got to look at this as far as the public works too. Do we, for the additional tags, do we charge out the department? Or do we provide the tags? And that's the question we have to
But
really
Public
look into.
Works has a
We have a
dumpster,
dumpster.
right?
Oh, you have a dumpster, okay.
We have those things out there, so
And
we
you
don't
don't
use
tag?
tags,
Okay.
no. And I don't know why the fire department couldn't.
So why don't you guys just go throw your trash in the Public Works dumpster?
until recently, there was not a Public Works dumpster
I know, I'm
used.
just
Yeah.
teasing about that.
And if that's the case, maybe we'll have to do that, I don't know.
How big is that
It's,
dumpster?
I don't remember
One of
this
the
ever being an
small
issue in
ones.
the
Oh, yeah.
past.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
it's never
So
come up.
I never remember
Yeah,
hearing
it's
it,
not
which
been
makes
done,
me
it's just
believe
full.
if, unless you've had an increase in the amount of trash, that it's not been an issue, but it's nothing that it's nothing I ever remember hearing one way or the other.
Yeah,
Me either.
It's never come before the board. that
Do you have tags now?
They reluctantly gave us 8 tags the other day.
Well, nobody
To
looks
get
like they got
through-
hurt, so.
And I guess the reasoning was that was enough to get us through town meeting.
Yeah, and then you could come back for your 26 at
Yeah.
that
So you
point.
get 26 at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah,
But they use
It
108.
gets us 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And that 108 might not be 108, it might
Right.
be,
might some more, some less.
Right.
right.
yeah. But on average, 2 bags a week.
Maybe,
You know, around
I mean,
Christmas time.
We'll have to figure out how to do that, but maybe just as a, figuring out exactly how much trash they do generate, maybe, my opinion is that we just give them the tags, but maybe have somebody kind of keep track, just so we know if it's kind of an average of 100 plus or minus 10 or 20, just so that, because the first thing somebody's gonna ask is how many people are bringing the trash from their home to get rid of it at the fire station.
Yep.
Or just
That's what we
grabbing
don't want.
tags and taking
Yeah,
them.
you know,
It's
that's-
easier than bringing.
I mean, I know that ain't gonna happen, but I'm just saying, that's what's gonna be asked on the town floor.
I'm
if you can
sure.
Believe it, so.
I'm sure.
You know, so that might be something that we wanna track, same with Public Works and wherever, just so we got a rough idea.
I'm sure between the chief and Shannon or whoever was here in the past has some track record.
Right, yeah, I'm sure they must.
Unfortunately,
have.
they're not here right now.
Right.
So
We'll get that straightened out.
how full does the,
It gets pretty full, we generate quite a bit.
Okay,
Plus
so-
Pat
so
Wolf
when-
picks up the-
when they come to empty, it's fairly full?
Yeah, they come
so,
once a month.
I was, if it wasn't, I was thinking we might as well get our money out of it
It's
and,
not a very big one.
and pick them up, have somebody pick it up every once a week or something, but.
Yeah, they're dumping all the recreation from
Yeah.
run around
Yeah.
everything over there.
Okay,
Exactly.
so, all right, well, for now, I guess we go as is, and I wouldn't think that we'd wanna change this until a new budget season anyway, cause it wouldn't be if we did decide to change it and charge departments for it, it wouldn't be, it would wanna be something that we figure into a budget, so.
I know,
and-
I don't believe there's a budget line for trash
No,
tags.
I know there's not a budget,
Yeah,
so.
Pick a line.
And all you're doing is transferring money from one side to the other side if you start charging them. I mean, it might be a good idea just to know what the generated is,
And-
but.
And
Right,
that's,
it's more just about tracking.
that's all it is,
Yeah, I
it's
agree
an
with that.
accounting.
Right. But if you run out, we don't want you throwing the trash on the side of the road, so come get some more.
I was gonna bring it over here and leave it over here.
Well, you know, and our things are never that empty. I mean, never that full. So
Yeah.
I hope I don't run into have to deal with
Yeah,
trash.
I wouldn't think you'd, yeah, we don't really need to make that a big issue.
Safer grant, I'm not that familiar with what the chief does with grants and all that. I know we were in the middle of an acceptance for the Safer grant last year, got denied at the last minute. We just reapplied, the deadline was last Friday. I had Bill DeLong actually rummage through that, sort that out. We did get that in, that grant is for,
That's the one with the county, that.
it's for, bringing people in, retention and whatever.
Right, the chief
Oh.
had brought in a
Yeah.
draft
Yeah.
of
It was,
what he'd
it was
written.
basically hiring another part-time person.
Yeah.
And it was 100% funded, I think it was $20,000 a year, $88,000 for 4 years to aid in having another part-time person.
Okay, so that's.
And I
not-
don't know all the specifics, but we did get that sent in, submitted before the deadline, and hopefully we'll get.
So here, that's not the one that was mentioned by Joanne from the 2013
Nope,
leftover
I
money.
got, that's next.
Okay.
That's next. So I can't answer any questions about that because I'm not that familiar. Bill DeLong took the lead on that, and we got it in before the deadline.
Yeah.
The next thing, there was another grant that Joanne Potvin was working on where there was leftover money from fiscal year 13. And there's 55 communities that had the opportunity to apply for this money, which would have given, if all 55 communities, it would have been about $550 per community. Only 11 applied, and it's gonna give us $2,722.14. Which, that money has to be used for certain things, and what we're trying to do, Bill DeLong is also working on this one, to get that applied to the addition to the tower, radio tower, to supplement the town's cost on that. So hopefully that will, I don't know when the deadline is, Bill DeLong's taking the lead on that also, but it's money that was left over, and if we can make it work, we're gonna get that too. And that's all I had, unless you got any questions for me.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
And thank you for stepping in and covering while the chief is out. I know that's,
Yeah, with, it's,
You're
it's
still
a
smiling.
tough, it's a tough job when you're working another full-time job. Selectmen's comments, first off, the election warden, Jill Tower, would like to thank the selectmen for the opportunity to go to a training this week on elections. And it was, from what I understand, it was a very good training, and she learned quite a bit. A lot of stuff she didn't know, and we'll be applying it as time goes on. Upcoming meetings, there'll be regular selectmen's meetings held here, March 24th, 2015 at 6:30 PM, and April 7th at 6:30 PM as well. The annual town meeting will be held on Saturday, April 4th, 2015 at 9. The town meeting portion will start at 9 a.m. at the Durham Community School. Elections will be held the day before, April 3rd, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Durham Community School. And I don't see the first one, so we'll move on to the second. I'd like to move that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 40568 personnel for personnel matters.
second.
All in favor? Motion carries.